Hey guys, this is the start of 8.4. This is the last conic section in this chapter, and we're talking about parabolas. So we're in the top box of our formula sheet. So this one right here you see. If you can see the video, I kind of copied down what I need. That way I don't have to split back and forth as much. We're going to start with problem number 1 in the class. Yeah. The first thing we need to do is figure out, is this vertical or horizontal? Well, the x is being squared right here. Let's go over to our equations. If it's horizontal, the y is being squared. But if it's vertical, the x is being squared. So here the x is being squared, so it's vertical. So I'm going to write that down. Vertical. All right, so that tells me I'm in this column right here. So I'm going to show you, let's match up the parts. I see it's backwards for one thing. Here the square comes on the left and the y is on the right, but that's okay, that's not much of a problem. It says x minus h. Well, there is no x plus or minus a number, so my h has to be 0. And just like with all the other conic sections, this is my x value of, normally it's the center and the y value of the center. Here it's actually just the vertex. There's only one vertex point and this right here. So we're going to treat it as kind of like the center, but of course a parabola doesn't have a center. So this is just the vertex. And if you remember quite a few chapters ago, there you go, there's our vertex right there. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So there's my vertex. Well, this one isn't shifted at all. So the vertex is at 0, and of course there's no plus or minus over here. So my vertex is at 0, 0. All right, let's move on through these. I should have probably checked more closely and saw what it was asking us for. Vertex, focus, axis of symmetry, directrix. Vertex, focus, axis. Okay, so all these. Okay. So I'm going to do them in the order that they're right here. Okay, just because, well, I say that already. So we got vertex. We're going to do axis of symmetry next, just because it's the easiest. If I have the vertex, it says the axis of symmetry is just x equals whatever the h value is. Well, h is 0, so my axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Okay. Remember, x equals a number is a vertical line. Axis of symmetry is this vertical line that goes down the middle of my parabola that divides it in half. If it's a vertical parabola, I'm going to have a vertical line. So that right there is my axis of symmetry. Okay. If it's a horizontal parabola, my axis of symmetry is going to be a horizontal one. All right, so there's our vertex, our axis of symmetry. Let's talk about our focus and directrix next, because they both use this thing P right here. Well, where do we get P? It says that 4 times P is the number in front of the variable being squared. Oh, sorry, the variable not being squared. Well, there is no number in front of y, so I know it is a 1. So I know that 1 is equal to 4p. Okay, because 4 times p is whatever the number is in front of y, which in this case is just a 1 because there's nothing there. So I say 4p equals 1. And now I need to solve this for p. So I'm just going to divide by 4 and get p equals 1/4. And that's going to pop up a lot. You're used to seeing that, well, if there's no number in front of y, p is just 1/4. Okay. So now let's plug p into this equation and find our focus and directrix. So let's start off with focus. Our focus is h, which we said is 0, comma k plus p. Well, k is 0, and p is 1/4. 0 plus 1/4 is 1/4. And then it says directrix is, I should put an equal sign there, sorry, because I don't have an equal sign right here. My directrix is y equals k, which is 0, okay, k is 0, minus p. Well, 0 minus 1/4 is negative 1/4. Okay. Let's look at it different. Let's click on to, well, first thing we show answers. Hold 2 and 3, so try 2 and 3, hit pause on the video, and I'm going to show answers. All right, those for numbers 2 and 3. Notice they both have a vertex at 0, 0. All right, so let's move on to number 4. Number 4, we have negative x minus 5 equals y plus 4 squared. Right. So right now it's the y that's being squared. Well, if the y is being squared, is it vertical or horizontal? Well, if the y is being squared, it's got to be horizontal. So we're going to be in this column. Well, what are we going to start with? Let's always start with the vertex. So the vertex is that h comma k. And we're going to find it just like we found the center of pretty much everything else. So vertex. And I should write over here. The horizontal. So now vertex h comma k. Let's start with the value of x. It says minus 5. Well, just like all the others, we got the opposite sign. So my x value is positive 5. It says y plus 4, so I have to have a negative 4 as the y value of my vertex. Next, it says axial symmetry is y equals the k value, which is y equals k, which is the y value of my vertex. So axis of symmetry is y equals the y value, negative 4. Well, and then the next part is focus and directrix, which both need p. Well, I need to find out what p is. Well, look, what's the number in front of the variable not being squared? In this case, the x. Well, the number in front, in this case, is a negative, so negative 1. So I'm going to say negative 1 equals 4p divided by 4. And I get p equals negative 1/4. Right. And then let's plug in. Well, I have h plus p. Well, h is my x value, so my focus is 5 plus negative 1/4, comma, negative 4. Like I said, that I'm going to say that 5 is the same thing as, well, let's see, 5 times 4 is 20, so 20 over 4. 20 over 4 minus 1 over 4 is 19 over 4, and the y value is negative 4. Okay. And then my directrix is x equals h minus p. Directrix is x equals my h value, which is 5, minus my p, which is negative 1 over 4. Minus negative makes it plus, So 5 plus 1/4. Just like with the focus, I need to change 5 to a fraction. So 5 is going to become 20/4 plus 1/4, which is going to give me, I'm going to make sure I include that x because if you remember up here, if it's vertical, it has a y, horizontal has an x, so it matters whether it's x or y. So I want to make sure I write x equals 20 plus 1 is 21/4. There's my directions. Now it's number 4. All right, so numbers 5 and 6. Go ahead and pause the video. Try 5 and 6, and then hit play when you're ready for the answers. All right, there are your answers to numbers 5 and 6. All right, so now we're moving on to number 7. You'll notice that with number 7, they give me the vertex and the focus and ask me to find the equation. So we're going backwards. So vertex. All right, so there's my vertex and my focus. So you'll notice, looking at these 2 points, that the x value is the same on both of them. It's the y value that's changed. And I'm pretty sure that's going to give it away whether I'm vertical or horizontal. So the x value stays the same. So let's look at these. Which one has the x value staying the same? Is it the vertical or the horizontal? Well, let's get vertex focus. X value staying the same. But here, x value is changing. Okay, so it's vertical that those stay the same. So I'm going to come down here to my problem and I'm going to write vertical. And if it's vertical, what form am I in? Well, I'm in this form right here, x minus h squared. So we can write this out. X minus h squared equals 4p y 9. Okay, so there's the form I'm in. And I can now plug in what I know. Well, I know my vertex gives me my h and my k. So I can plug that in first. So this is x plus 5 squared equals 4p y plus 10. Okay. Now, that's focus point. How did I go from there to there? Well, let's look back at my formula. The focus is k plus p. So k plus p gave me that. So let's write that down. K plus p gave us this right here, negative 39/4. But I know what k is. K is the y value of my vertex. K is negative 10. So negative 10 plus p gave me negative 39/4. And now I can solve for p by adding 10 to both sides. So I'll say p equals, well, I don't really want 10. I'm going to change that to a denominator of 4. 10 times 4 is 40. And I end up with p equals, well, negative 39 plus 40 is 1. 1/4. Oh, look at there. A p of 1/4. I told you I'm going to pop up a lot. So now I can plug that 1/4 in up here. Well, what is 1/4 times 4? Well, it's just 1. So I can really just leave that part off. So my final equation is going to be x plus 5 squared equals 4 times 1/4 is just 1. y plus 10. And there's my equation. Let's move on to our next. Go ahead and try numbers 8 and 9. Pause the video. All right, the answers to 8 and 9. All right, number 10. What if they give me the vertex and the directrix? -8, -6, and directrix is x equals -19 over 4. Oh, I didn't realize I never shared screen. My apologies. So let me go back to those ones I just skipped because I thought you were looking at my screen and you were not. All right, so now here's 8 and 9. Try those. And the answers are there. So there. Now you have the answers to 8 and 9. All right. Okay. Moving on to number 10. We have vertex and directrix. Sorry, I didn't write that very well. But that is supposed to be -8, -6. So how do I figure out if this is vertical or horizontal? Well, the directrix says x equals. Well, let's come up here. If my directrix says x equals, here's x equals, then it has to be horizontal. Okay, so this has to be horizontal. So I'm going to write this down. This is a form I'm plugging into. And so it's horizontal. So I have y minus k squared equals 4t x minus h. Well, I have my vertex. There's my h. Okay, so I can plug those in and say y plus 6 squared equals 4t x plus 8. Now I just need to figure out what p is. Well, my directrix says this, but let's see here. What's my formula for directrix? My formula for directrix is h minus p. Come back right here and say h minus p. But I know what h is. H is -8. H is -8 minus p. 8 is the same, so I'll add 8 over to both sides. But when I add it over here, I'm going to go ahead and say that 8 times 4 is what? Now let's see here. 2 times 8 is 16. Double that, and I get 32 over 4. 32 minus 19 is 13. So 13, I'm off the 13 over 4 is negative p. Well, if 13 over 4 is negative p, that means multiply both sides by -1. P equals negative 13 over 4. Well, what happens when I put negative 13 over 4 into p? Well, 4 and that 4 are going to cancel out, and I'll be left with this. Y plus 6 squared equals, again, those 4's cancel out. So I'm left with negative 13 x plus 8. All right, so I get that right there. All right, for this last problem, I'm trying to squeeze it in right here so you can squeeze it in. Run my paper. Right. So that was number 10. We'll move on to 11. Back to it again. Share screen. Close it. Now, and the answers to 11 and 12 are right there. All right, so one more to go. All right, number 13. What if they give me the focus and the direction? Right here, 13, focus, and direction. Okay, so I see that my directrix is y equals. So if my directrix is y equals, I know that gives me a way which one I need. Right here, y is y equals. So this one is vertical. Vertical is x minus h squared. So x minus h squared 4p y minus k. Right? Well, the focus, I know one of those two values is h or k. So if I come up here, there you go. The x value is h. It hasn't been changed at all. So I know this is the value of the vertex. So I know this right here is just my h. This right here is k plus p. This right here, on the other hand, it says is k minus p. Well, let's think about this. K plus p equals negative 7 over 4. K minus p is negative 9 over 4. That looks a lot like a system of equations from algebra 2. Let's see as it is. And we're going to treat it like one. We're going to add those two together. K plus k is 2k. My p's cancel out. Negative 9 over 4 plus negative 7 over 4 is negative 16 over 4. Okay. So let's see here. I now need to divide both sides by 2. Well, dividing both sides by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So k is equal to, well, let's see here, 2 times 4 is 8. So negative 16 over 8, which is the same thing as negative 2. There's my k. Right? Well, if I know what k is, can I plug in and find out what p is? Yes, I can. So k plus p equals negative 7 over 4. I know k is negative 2, so negative 2 plus p is negative 7 over 4. Add 2, which is going to be 2 times 4 is 8 over 4. And look at there, p is going to be 1/4. Okay, so now I can plug everything into this equation for my final answer. We have x minus, not h, which was 2, squared equals 4 times p, which is just going to be 1, y minus negative 2, so y plus 2. And that is the end of 8.4.